Leonardo da Vinci, the universal genius. Leonardo da Vinci, born on April 15, 1452, in Vinci, a small Tuscan village near Florence, is one of the most fascinating and versatile figures in human history. He is known for being a great painter, but his genius extended far beyond the visual arts, encompassing fields such as science, engineering, anatomy, architecture, botany, and music. An emblematic figure of the Renaissance, Leonardo embodied the ideal of the universal man, one who masters both the arts and sciences, and seeks to understand the world in all its complexity through knowledge. The formative years. Leonardo was the illegitimate son of Ser Piero, a Florentine notary, and a woman of humble origins named Caterina. Despite his birth outside of marriage, young Leonardo was welcomed into his father's home and received a solid basic education, including studies in mathematics, Latin, and geometry. However, unlike many great thinkers of his time, he did not receive formal university training. His real education began at the age of 14 when he was sent to Florence to join the workshop of Andrea del Verrocchio, one of the most renowned artists and craftsmen of the time. Here, Leonardo mastered the arts of drawing, painting, and sculpture, as well as engineering and mechanical arts. Verrocchio was famous for combining art with practical science, which profoundly influenced the young Leonardo. Working in a Renaissance workshop meant learning multiple disciplines, an approach that would define Leonardo's entire career. Leonardo's pictorial genius. Leonardo da Vinci is perhaps most famous for his extraordinary ability as a painter. However, his artistic output, though relatively limited in quantity, includes some of the most celebrated works in the history of art, which deeply influenced the development of Western painting. His painting technique was revolutionary for the time, particularly his use of sfumato, a method that blends colors and contours to create a tonal gradation, giving his figures a sense of depth and an almost ethereal softness. The Mona Lisa, painted between 1503 and 1506, with possible later retouches, the Mona Lisa is Leonardo's most famous and discussed work. Her celebrated smile, mysterious and elusive, has become a global icon. Leonardo used the sfumato technique to bring the Mona Lisa's face to life, endowing it with extraordinary expressiveness. The landscape in the background, with rocky mountains and winding waters, suggests an intricate and ever-evolving natural world, in line with Leonardo's view of nature as dynamic and complex. The painting has influenced generations of artists and continues to inspire interpretations and theories. The Last Supper. Created between 1495 and 1498, this fresco, located in the refectory of the convent of Santa Maria delle Grazie in Milan, is one of the most celebrated masterpieces of Western art. Leonardo captures the precise moment when Jesus announces that one of his disciples will betray him. The composition is a masterpiece of perspective and visual storytelling. The figures are carefully arranged along the table, but their gestures and facial expressions create a dramatic dynamism that makes the scene almost theatrical. The linear perspective used by Leonardo leads the viewer's eye to the center of the composition, where the serene figure of Christ sits amidst the emotional turmoil of the apostles. Vitruvian Man. This pen-and-ink drawing, dated around 1490, is one of the most famous representations of the relationship between art and science in Leonardo's thought. Based on the writings of the Roman architect Vitruvius, the Vitruvian Man symbolizes Leonardo's quest for harmony between human body proportions and the universe's proportions. The drawing depicts a naked man in two superimposed positions with extended arms and legs, inscribed in both a circle and a square. It visually expresses Leonardo's belief that man is a microcosm, a reflection of the laws governing the universe. Leonardo the Scientist, the study of nature. While Leonardo da Vinci is universally celebrated as a painter, his contributions to scientific progress are equally extraordinary, even though they were less recognized during his lifetime. Leonardo did not merely observe nature, but sought to understand it through drawing, analysis, and experimentation, with a precision that anticipated many concepts of modern science. Anatomy and medicine. Leonardo's anatomical studies were probably the most advanced of his time. After obtaining permission to dissect human cadavers, a rare practice at the time, Leonardo produced hundreds of detailed drawings of muscles, bones, and organs. Among his most famous sketches are studies of the human skull, the cardiovascular system, and the fetus in the womb. These studies were intended to be part of an anatomy treatise that was never completed. Many of his drawings remained unknown until the 19th century, when they were finally published and recognized as fundamental contributions to medicine. Engineering and inventions. Leonardo was a true visionary in the field of engineering. His notebooks contain drawings of futuristic machines, such as an early version of the helicopter, a tank, movable bridges, war machines, and even a humanoid robot. Although many of his inventions were not realized in his time due to technical limitations, his designs show an understanding of the laws of mechanics and physics far ahead of his era. Studies on water. Leonardo had a deep fascination with the movement of water, which he meticulously studied in hundreds of drawings and notes. For Leonardo, water was not only a natural resource but a symbol of the vital flow that permeates nature. He designed advanced hydraulic systems, including canals, locks, and solutions for flood management. His Codex Leicester, or Codex Hammer, one of his famous manuscripts, contains many of his studies on water and remains one of his most important scientific works. Leonardo and the Philosophy of Nature. Leonardo was not only an empiricist but also a philosopher of nature. To him, nature was a complex, interconnected entity governed by laws that could be discovered through observation and experimentation. His belief that everything is connected is reflected in his studies, which often linked seemingly disparate disciplines like anatomy, geology, and astronomy. In Leonardo's view, art and science were two sides of the same coin. Both sought to uncover the truth through different yet complementary methods. He described the painter as Lord of all things, because art allowed one to see and understand what science explained. It is not surprising, then, that Leonardo saw no separation between artistic drawing and technical or anatomical drawing. Both were tools to decipher the mysteries of the world. Leonardo's legacy. The legacy of Leonardo da Vinci extends far beyond his era. As a painter, he redefined the representation of the human figure and pictorial space, influencing generations of artists up to modern times. As a scientist and inventor, his studies anticipated many later developments in biology, engineering, and physics. His ideas, often left as sketches and plans, have inspired scientists and engineers centuries after his death. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Leonardo's legacy is his boundless curiosity and interdisciplinary approach to knowledge. To him, there was no distinction between art, science, and philosophy. All forms of knowledge were intertwined in one great quest to understand the truth of the world. In an age when disciplinary specialization is often seen as necessary, Leonardo's example reminds us of the importance of a broader, more integrated view of human knowledge. Leonardo continues to be a symbol of creativity, innovation, and the ability to think beyond. As he himself wrote, knowing how to see is the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe.